Joke 1. Omar Epps moved next to Chris Hemsworth. Initially, they didn't talk much, but after a little time they started having family get-togethers. They became good friends for a while, even going so far as to have little decoration challenges every holiday. Omar always pulled out all the stops come Christmas, and he seemed to enjoy it so much that often Chris would concede and just admire his neighbor's over-the-top yuletide spirit. But one year, Chris felt like upping the ante and properly competing. So instead of doing a large spread of house decor, Chris commissioned the construction of an enormous lawn ornament. The next evening, Omar looked across the lawn and gasped. There, standing taller than a house, was a towering statue of Thor, colorfully lit and dressed like an elf. He laughed it off as ridiculous and tacky, but to his surprise it was drawing much more attention, from strangers and neighbors alike, than his own festive manner. More than a little disgruntled that he was no longer the talk of the HOA, he made his irritation known at dinner. Curious, his oldest daughter went over to see this titan in person. Later that night, Chris awoke to his children's shouts. He ran to the window and saw his beautiful elf Thor flaming. The fire department came, but too late, as the damage was done and the magnificent creature destroyed. Chris checked the cameras and saw what looked like a teenager approaching the statue. But before he could make out who it was, the feed cut. All footage past this point was corrupted. Distraught, he reached out to Omar and admitted how important it was to him to win the decor war just 1 year, and he just wished he could find out who this kid was. Omar consoled him as best he could, but now worried he was going to have to confront his daughter. He knocked on her door and asked her to be honest with him. She scoffed and pulled up the house security on her laptop. Sure enough, there she was, walking back to the house only 10 minutes after leaving to see the statue. According to the CFI, the fire started over an hour later. We may never learn the truth, but we know one thing for certain. Epstein didn't kill Hem's elf. Joke 2. I find it really hard to tell my friends what my wife does for a living. She sells seashells by the seashore. Joke 3. God has a sense of humor. God told men they would find faithful and obedient wives in all the corners of the earth. Then men discovered that the earth is round, and God laughed and laughed. If you like this video, put a like and subscribe to the channel.